you want to go fast, you got to know how to shift, and today we show you how to shift like a pro. So the 5 points we want to talk about. Number 1, foot position. Where do I put my foot? Where do I move it? How do I shift, and where do I rest it? Number 2, clutch or no clutch is a question we get a lot. People are like, do I use my clutch to shift? Do I not use it? What do I do? We're going to explain it all. Then we're going to talk about when to shift and how to limit your shifting, because you don't want to be shifting all the time. You want to focus on your riding. And last but not least, we're going to show you how to shift while you're standing up. Foot position, really important. Just like we talked about in our other video when it comes to braking, you're riding on the palm of your feet, so your feet are pointing in and you're away from the shift lever. So in order to shift up, you've got to move your foot forward a little bit, shift, and then move your foot back. Again, just like braking, that transition is really important. You move your foot forward to shift. When you're done shifting, you move it back, turn into the bike so you can grip the bike. You don't want to ride on your heel with your foot pointing out. No control of the bike, then turn it in, shift, and turn it back out. That's the wrong way. Palm of your foot, foot pointing in, forward, shift, back on your pack, gripping the bike. Clutch or no clutch. So in a lot of our trainings, people are like, hey, I never use the clutch to shift. Is that the right way? Is that how I do it? What we teach and what we recommend is use your clutch when you're shifting up, because while you're accelerating, your bike's in full power, your gearbox spinning, the gears are spinning, you got to separate the transmission a little bit in order to force in a new gear. Yes, in low revs, you're able to shift. Sometimes if you're in a rush, you're able to shift. But you want to make sure you get clean shifts in, and in order to do that, you want to make sure you use the clutch. So you can stay on the throttle, a quick pull on the clutch, pull in the next gear, and you're good to go. Shifting down, a little bit of a different story. Coming into the turns, sometimes you can just step on it, shift down the next gear, it's not a big problem. Some people, in order to not stall the bike, pull in the clutch, especially when you're coming in a tight turn now on the 4-stroke. You want to kind of let the bike roll and use the engine brake as much as you can, but sometimes you just got to pull in the clutch in order not to stall. But it is not a necessity to use the clutch while you're shifting down. When do you shift? And that's a good question. It depends a little bit on what sort of bike you ride, right? You ride a 450, you're gonna shift a lot less than when you're riding a 85 or 125 2-strokes. But you wanna make sure you stay within the power band. So your bike, as it revs up, it delivers power, 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 and eventually it revs out and it flattens out, and at some point, even fully revved out, you lose power. So you wanna make sure that you're in the right gear to accelerate, and as you're accelerating, you shift through the gears. Like I said, stay on the gas so you don't have to let off. On the gas, clutch next gear, clutch next gear. Every time your bike's about to rev out, you click the next gear, and that's how you get maximum power onto the track. Point number 4, limit the shifting. We see it a lot in our trainings, and even when we just go to the track, a lot of people come into the turn, 2-3 gears down, a really sharp turn, the bike kind of wheelies out, 2 gears back up, another 2 gears down, and just a lot of shifting. What you want to make sure of is that you find a gear that kind of carries you through the turn with enough momentum to where you don't have to shift. Every time you have to shift, you give up your position a little bit, you pull in the clutch so the bike's not moving forward in that little bit of a second. So you want to make sure you limit your shifting. Don't make sure you come in maybe second, usually a turn is 2nd or 3rd gear depending on what bike you ride. Carry that speed, shift 1 gear, and try to carry a higher gear as much as you can. It will help your suspension to settle in, It will help make everything smoother, and it will help you focus on your body position, on your riding, and not just constantly be shifting. Point number 5, and that's really important, especially if you want to get faster and ride some rougher tracks, is shifting standing up. For a lot of people, it's a little bit hard to kind of get their foot underneath the shift lever while they're standing up. If you ride in the proper position with your palms on your pegs, you just have to move your foot slightly forward, just like when you're sitting down. And then all you have to do is just move your ankle up a little bit, and it clicks into that next gear. You can see it in the clip. I'm going slow, but the only thing that's moving is my ankle and my leg a tiny little bit. What you don't want to do is use your entire body just to force in one gear and give up all control of the bike. Little movements just in your foot forward and then up to get in that gear. Alright guys, this is a wrap for this week's SOS riding tip. Shifting, obviously these are the very basics. As you build speed, as you go faster, sometimes you rush a little bit and you have to adjust your body position. But to get started, this is what you want to do. You want to make sure you don't, especially when you're standing up, you don't use your entire body to shift one gear. Use your foot, use your ankle, you can move it even in the boot. Make sure you like and subscribe, and come back next week for another SOS riding tip.